If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. Alright, hey there guys, Adricasa here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be ranking all of the offensive abilities in Madden 22 as of Christmas time, because this video is going to be coming out on Christmas Day as well, and I kind of want to have it to where, you know, we have, you know, people who are coming to the game of Madden, you know, coming to MUT for the first time this year. You know, they got MUT for Christmas, you know, and I just want to showcase to them, like, what abilities are, like, really good, what are a waste of AP, basically. So with that being said, how I'm going to rank these is in terms of usefulness, in terms of how good the ability is, and then the AP cost as well. So those are to be my rankings, how I'm going to judge these abilities. So first off, Roaming Deadeye, I think it's great. I think this is an ability that if you can get it, you should get it. Roaming Deadeye, you know, perfect pass accuracy standing out of the pocket. However, there is a glitch in the game where if you let go of the right trigger just before you release the ball, it will be a perfect Deadeye on the run pass every single time. Doesn't matter if it's 30 yards downfield or 2 yards. It is going to be perfect every single time. The only times it's not is because either A, you're under pressure, or B, EA decides to fuck with you and make it to where your ability doesn't activate, which that's EA being EA for you. I don't necessarily know. But, you know, Roaming Deadeye, it's great. And it's 2 AP as well on improvisers and scramblers. It's 2 AP. I don't necessarily know if strong arms and field generals can get it. I'm almost certain field generals cannot. But actually, I think they can. I think it's like 2 AP for them as well. So, but it's 2 AP. It's very, very good. Definitely pick it up if you can. If you are a person that likes to throw on the run consistently, I would definitely pick this up. Playmaker, it's meh right now. I think personally, Playmaker, it's meh for a couple of reasons. The first is the fact that this game right now, it's very difficult to get stops. You don't really necessarily need Playmaker, in my personal opinion, to make it to where you are making a receiver redirect their route in the way you want. So I don't necessarily think you need Playmaker. And then secondly, it is 5 AP. And then quarterback and Playmaker, which is on improviser quarterbacks only, I think, it's 7 AP. That's a lot of AP to be investing into an ability like this. And I personally think there's much better abilities out there that you should be using your AP on. Inside Deadeye, I think, is a waste of AP now. They did patch it this year. If you're coming from Madden 21 and you got Madden 22 for Christmas, just know that Inside Deadeye does not work in Madden 22 like it did in Madden 21. They did patch it they did patch it and they did fix it, which thank God for that because it was very broken. So just remember that it is a waste of AP as well. So don't bother using it. Next, we'll move on to Outside Apprentice. Now, I do think this isn't a good ability. First of all, it's 1 AP on route runners. It's 2 AP on physical and deep threat wide receivers. So it's 1 to 2 AP, but it's not great because, one, the routes I find from Outside Apprentice happen to be the worst out of all of the hot route abilities. And number 2, the fact that it's 1 AP for this, but it's just at some point you just got to be like, I'd rather have the Hot Route Master, right? I'd rather have Hot Route Master, which we'll get into. Plus, there's other abilities that can give you this plus more. So I really do think that having an Outside Apprentice, it can be helpful. It could definitely open up your offense, don't get me wrong. And if you have 1 spare AP on a route runner receiver, I would pick it up if you have the 1 spare AP. But only then would I say pick it up. Other than that, I wouldn't do it. Next, we move on. Hang on just 1 second here. Okay, my mouse just suddenly was moving. Okay, there we go. My mouse was just moving slowly for sudden reasons. Next, we have Matchup Nightmare. It is good. The only thing that's stopping it from being great is the fact that it's 2 AP on every other receiving ability. It's 2 AP on every other archetype that can catch the ball other than physical wide receivers. Physical wideouts, it's 1 AP. But for tight ends, deep threat wide receivers, route runners, and slot wide receivers, it's 2 AP. It's 2 AP for them. So I would only put this on physical wide receivers. I wouldn't put it on any other archetype in the game. And it does give you improved catching too, which is all really great. And it is glitched to where you don't have to be engaged with a linebacker for this to activate. You could just throw a streak over the top of a cornerback and it will activate when he catches the ball. So that's what I got to say about that. So just let you guys know that it is something you definitely should look into. Next, we have mid and elite. I think this is meh. I don't think this is a total waste of AP. If you have a receiver that you're used to having in your offense that is used to having balls being caught over the middle on mid routes, then yeah, probably pick this up. But I do think that overall it's meh. There are better elite abilities out there that you can get for cheaper AP too. Next we have protected. I think this is a waste of AP. Protected this year, defensive linemen don't shed on pass rush consistently. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And even when you're sending 5 or 6 people, sometimes you won't even get there, which is just weird to me, especially if someone is blocking 5 and you send 6. Like, someone should be getting home. But unfortunately, that is just not the case. Next, we have Redzone Threat. I think this is bordering on great, but I'm going to say it's good. I think Redzone Threat is pretty good. The only downside to this is I cannot, for some reason, get it to consistently trigger, and I actually do think they did nerf it a little bit. Now, on bigger receivers like Brandon Marshall, or even some bigger tight ends like Jimmy Graham or Jermichael Finley, you could definitely have this in the great tier, because then you can have, you can just jump over the top a lot more easier and catch those red zone catches. But on receivers like DK Metcalf, or even like the smaller wide receivers, it's not going to be as great as it should be, which is unfortunate. Spin cycle, both spin cycle and grab and go, I'm going to put in, not quick draw. Both spin cycle and grab and go, I'm going to put in the waste of AP section. Spins are already OP in this game. Having 1 AP on spin cycle is a waste of AP. And then grab and go, it's honestly a worse human joystick, and I don't even think human joystick is worth it. So I would put grab and go in waste of AP as well. Now, quick draw, it is meh. It is a meh ability. If you do have a quarterback that cannot get Gunslinger or pass lead elite right away, go with quick draw. So that way you can get those faster passes. Under pressure is the only time it activates. But the good thing is it does activate on the run as well as in the pocket. But you cannot be, but you have to be under pressure for it to activate. Other than that, it's a no bueno. It doesn't work. So that's why it's meh. Next, move on to Backfield Master. This is a must-have for your offense. If you don't have a Hot Route Master quarterback, this is a must-have. If you do have a must-have or a Hot Route Master quarterback, this goes down to waste or AP. This is basically an all-or-nothing ability. You either have this ability or you don't. But being able to have the extra hot routes and better catching from the backfield is fantastic. Getting the Texas route, the flat route, the check and release. Not the check and release. It was Texas. It's Texas, flat, and I genuinely cannot remember the other two. I'm so stupid. But, man. But yeah, having the extra hot routes is great. Now, it's 1 AP on receiving backs, and it's 2 AP on elusive backs, and power backs straight up cannot get it. So I would just get this on receiving backs, because if you have the next one, which is the opportunity to get backfield mismatch, which I think is great, but I would get this mainly on receiving backs. This is great, but the only problem with this ability for backfield mismatch, moving into that now, is the fact that it doesn't give the hot routes. It gives you better route running and catching against linebackers, which is all great. But if you already have a hot route, if you don't have a hot route master QB and you have a receiving back, just get backfield master. But if you don't have the receiving back, backfield or you do have the hot route master QB, backfield mismatch could actually be very good if you want a running back catching ability. Me personally, I'm not a person like to invest into running backs. There are a few exceptions. This one would probably be one of them if I want to invest some AP into a running back. But other than that, I'm just not really into it. Now, Bonos is a must-have if you have Bo Jackson. This X Factor is just broken. I don't know who at EA decided that this was a good idea to make it to where we have this ability, but it's straight up a terrible idea, and I think that whoever decided to come up with that needs to be fired. Honestly, I think they should just be fired. Just straight up, honestly. Anyways, moving on to Bruiser. We'll put this in waste of AP. I really do think this is a waste. Nobody really does arm bars, and most people just truck. in this game. If you are playing as with a power back, you're just trucking. You're not putting in the you're not arm barring people. So that's why I say this is just a waste of AP. Next we have Bulldozer. I think this is good. I think this is a good ability. But for me personally, like I said, it's a running back AP ability. It's a running back ability. I'm not a big fan of investing AP into running backs. But you know, if you have one spare AP for your power back, put on Bulldozer and just punch them. Basically, just dip your shoulder and put your head through them. Yeah. Next we have Clutch Kicker. This is great. This is a great ability. I do think this is an ability that if you can. I would think this is not a must-have on kickers, obviously, because there's another one that is a must-have. But Clutch Kicker is really good. Obviously, being able to be immune from the ice the kicker effect, especially in late games, can be the difference between a win and a loss. I can attest to that firsthand. I've lost some head-to-heads and even solo battle games when I was grinding solo battles just for rewards. I lost games due to ice kicker effect, or have gone into overtime and lost because I missed my ice field goal. So yeah, I definitely would recommend having ice Clutch Kicker if you feel confident that you don't need focused, but we'll get there. Conductor I think is good. Conductor we're putting in the good tier. To be completely honest, for me, Conductor is an ability that I think is more of a luxury ability. If you have the spare AP, by all means, knock yourselves out. But I think abilities like, Redzone Threat, Outside Apprentice, and even Matchup Nightmare, I would argue, are more valuable abilities to have than Conductor. Yeah, sure, you can get the faster blocking adjustments and hot route change and faster hot routing, but I don't necessarily know if you realistically need all that. And especially with the meta in this game being chew clock, you're probably just chewing clock and just, when it comes to the routes, you obviously want to take up as much time as possible. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about that. Now, Dashing Deadeye is meh. It is a meh ability overall, I personally think. It's not better than Roaming Deadeye. It's not a waste of AP, though, in my personal opinion. If you want to use Dashing Deadeye, I think once Roaming Deadeye does get an AP increase, which I would be honestly shocked if they didn't touch it for the rest of the year, though. Wouldn't surprise me. But if Roaming Deadeye does get a buff, it does get an increase to like 4 or 5 AP, which I think it should be, then, I could see people moving to Dashing Deadeye for throws on the run, or another ability, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Dashing Deadeye, personally, I was a big fan of it last year, but this year I'm not really so much a fan of it because of the fact that I was able to figure out how to get Roaming Deadeye to work. Pardon me. Now for Deep Out Elite, this is a must-have. This ability is a must-have. It is currently glitched in the game right now to where it catches, it lights up on deep in and out passes of more than 15 yards. That's how this works. So definitely pick this ability up. It is 1 AP on your vertical threat tight ends, and your deep threat and route runner wide receivers. But on everybody else, like your slot receiver, your physical wide receiver, your possession tight end, it's 2 AP. So, but I would still say, get it for 1 AP, 2 AP, you might be pushing it a bit, but I do think that Deep Out Elite is a must-have on those type of players. Now, Edge Threat is good, but you can honestly move this to meh if you really want to. I really did think Edge Protector was going to take over the game, because when they did buff AI pass rush, my first thought was, okay, they probably made it to where it's insane and people are going to start using edge threats now, which they're not using edge threats. They're using something else. And if I can find the defensive tier maker for this, I'll make a defensive one after this. But Edge Protector is still good. If you have the spare AP, go nuts. But I would not hold this in high regard, personally. I would not put this in high regard. A Skateboardist is a must-have. I would argue this is the best ability in the game right now. This ability, in my opinion, has single-handedly ruined Madden 22 in terms of quarterback play at the moment. Like, the fact that people can, just run around with a Skateboardist with no repercussions or anything is just insanity. That and the fact that if you combine it with the M factor that allows you to have infinite stamina during plays, yeah, you can be running around basically the entire game. you basically can run around the entire fucking game with Skateboardist in the backfield, like on your quarterback. I really do think this needs to go up in AP. This needs to be double-digit AP at bare minimum. This ability is insane. Evasive, I'm putting this on as a waste of AP. It's kind of like Spin Cycle, but it does give you better jukes instead, which I don't understand why you would want that. I think you would rather just have the jukes as well. And it just occurred to me that jukebox is not on this. I think jukebox is in good to high good to low great, depending on the back and depending on the player you are. I do think jukes are something that can be very good, but obviously, unfortunately, jukebox is not on this list, but I would have it in the good to great here. Tight out, I think, is a waste of AP as well. I don't know why you would want a catching ability for all your tight ends when you can literally just get deep out elite and matchup nightmare on them. Honestly, I don't know why you would do that, in my personal opinion. Just don't bother with this for your AP. It's a waste. Next, we have Fearless. I think this is great. Honestly, I think Fearless is an underrated ability in this game. Especially if you're going up against a person who is a blitz-happy blitz-happy defense. Getting the ability to be immune to defensive pressure in the pocket, it can be the difference between a under pressure and accurate pick or a big play down the field, or even a touchdown. But the key is you have to be in the pocket for this to activate, which I've started to transition to learning how to be a better pocket passer. Don't get me wrong, I'll still scramble out of the pocket when I do need to, but I'm starting to learn more to stay in the pocket and, use the quarterback in the pocket that way. And that's why I do have Fearless on my Russell Wilson still, because I do think this is still a great ability. Next, we have Focus Kicker. This is a must-have on your kicker. This is a must-have in my personal opinion. I personally don't need it because I use Clutch Kicker, and I do think I'm very decent at timing my kicks. But in terms of Clutch Kicker, if you really don't if you really don't think you can, or you just want to try, or you just want to prevent the human error, obviously go with Focus Kicker. Next, we have Gunslinger. It's a must-have. It is a must-have if you can get it. Obviously, it's 5 AP on Field Generals and Improvisers. It is 6 AP on Scramblers, and it is 4 AP on Strong Arms. By the way, also, it's the Focus Kicker is 1 AP. Fearless is 2 AP on Field Generals and 3 AP on Improvisers. What's another one that I think I missed? I think actually I've caught up just to make sure I did not miss those. But where was I? Oh yeah, Gunslinger. Faster passes and better throwing animation and faster throwing animations and increased velocity on bullet passes. Getting the ball in there as fast as possible to get it into tighter windows. This is just a must-have. This is just one of the best abilities in the entire game, and there's really no discussion in my personal opinion. Hot Route Master is next. This is also a must-have. If you can afford this ability, this is a must-have. 2 AP on Field Generals. Right now, there are a few quarterbacks that can get Hot Route Master. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. There was one more. Dan Marino. Those 3 cards, they can get Hot Route Master. And Dan Marino goes on every team chem. So if you want to pick up Dan Marino and get Hot Route Master, go ahead and pick him up. I personally don't think it's worth it. I would rather not waste my time picking up Dan Marino. But if you are somebody that loves to pass from the pocket or wants those hot routes, pick up Dan Marino. But this is a must-have. It saves a lot of AP. It does make it to where every hot route is available to all your receivers at any given time, and even running backs. So I do think it is a must-have. Human Joystick, I think, is a waste of AP. I think it's just a waste of AP straight up. I don't necessarily know if it even does anything, to be completely honest. Last year it was completely trash, but I don't know anything about this year. Identifier is good. It's the only reason it's not great, it is because it is 2 AP on this year, which I don't understand why they upped it. By the way, Human Joystick's like 4 or 5 AP, and then I did talk about Gunslinger. Okay, so we're caught up on that. But for Identifier, it's good, but it's not great because it's like 2 AP this year. And it's 1 AP on Field General, so in that sense, it can be great. But 2 AP on linemen is just ridiculous in my personal opinion. I think honestly, I would argue that this should be 0 AP. I think this should be already built into the game where you see your opponent's user straight up. However, that's neither here nor there for this video. But Identifier is still very good. Obviously, get it if you can. But I wouldn't pay the 2 AP for it. I would just get the 1 AP on your Dan Marino or your Tom Brady or your um, Peyton Manning. Next we have, I think this is Slot Apprentice. I'm going to assume this is Slot Apprentice. For the Slot Apprentice, I'm going to put this in great. I think this is a very, very good ability. You know, the routes you get from Slot Apprentice are just insanely good. You know, getting actually no, I think this is a wide receiver apprentice. I think this is wide receiver because I'm pretty sure this one right here is Slot Apprentice. There's a lot of these ones are all like the same. You got running back apprentice, Slot Apprentice, wide receiver apprentice, tight end apprentice, and then what's the last one then? Does this tier maker have way too many of the same? Because there's wide receiver, slot, tight end, running back. Which one am I missing? Wide receiver, slot, tight end, running back. I have no idea. I'm not even gonna rank the last one until I know for certain. But I'm going to assume this right here is a wide receiver apprentice, and I think this is great. Extra hot routes basically on one receiver everywhere. Obviously opens up your offense. You get a lot of crossing routes. You get post routes. There's even some corner routes that are really good. I think the slot corner is just amazing. Next we move on to short and elite. I think this is meh. Obviously EA did nerf it way back in September. Making it 2 AP with the first AP update, which was a needed change because it actually was glitched to where it was working on like a route tech. So I do think it's meh now being 2 AP. Next we have a long range Deadeye. This is a must have. If you can afford a long range Deadeye, pick it up. It's 1 AP on all quarterbacks. Perfect pass accuracy, more than 15 to 20 yards downfield, and you're more likely going to have those in a game more often than not. So this is a must-have for me. Next, we have Deep in Elite, and this is a waste of AP, in my personal opinion, right now, because Deep Out Elite is so much better, because it acts like Deep In, and it works like on Deep Out as well. So I think, personally, it's a waste of AP at this moment in time. And then we have Nasty Streak. I'm putting this in meh. I don't necessarily know how good it is, to be completely honest. If you've used Nasty Streak, let me know, but I've not really used it. Next, we have Pass the Elite. It's great. It's a lot cheaper than Gunslinger on improvisers and on scramblers. Scramblers, it's 4 AP, and then improviser, it's 3 AP. And I think for field generals, it's 3 AP as well. Obviously, I would still go with the Gunslinger if you can, but getting Pass Elite is not a bad alternative, in my personal opinion. Post Up is next. Post Up is 2 AP. I would consider it good. Good double teams. Now, if you can only get one for this, I would definitely pick up it on your center. I wouldn't pick it up on your guards. Obviously, if you can get two, get it on your guards. But it's 2 AP, so I wouldn't do it. Route Apprentice, I think this is okay. I think this is on the lower end of good to meh. I'm actually going to put it in the high meh. 3 AP on your tight end, giving you hot routes at every single position. I don't necessarily think this is a good idea. Personally, I think, you should just play your tight end at the tight end spot. There are some formations where your tight end will be flexed out wide as a receiver, which I guess could be good, but, personally for me, I think this is just meh. Route Tech, in my opinion, is a must-have. For me personally, I think Route Tech is a must-have ability. Giving you quicker cuts and movement on your routes can really actually help you to identify if your opponent is in man or match coverage, because it lights up on man and match, but it doesn't light up in zone. So if you're unsure of what your opponent's playing, but you snap the ball and that thing lights up, then okay, they were playing man or they were playing match coverage. So yeah, definitely, I think this is a must-have. 2 AP on route runners, giving you better cutting, quicker cuts on routes, all great. Set feet lead, I'm putting it in the meh category. I've heard rumors that set feet lead actually does not do very good. Well, does have some moments where the ball sails on them or lofts in the air too long. So that can be pretty bad. And also it only works with your feet set, which means if you scramble out of the pocket or you roll out, you have to wait till your feet are set and then throw the ball, which I would recommend. Honestly, you just get past Lead Elite at that point, or Gunslinger. Anyways, next we have next we have, I think this is tight end. This one, I'm going to say tight end apprentice. I think this is great. The tight end apprentice is, I would argue, the best single route running, best single hot route in the game that isn't Backfield Master, but that's a combination ability, so that's why it's in the must-have. But for Tight End Apprentice, I would argue it's a must. It is the single best one hot route in the entire game. I would argue that it is better than Slot Apprentice, because for Tight End Apprentice, you do get things like the trail route, which is very good again and very easy to beat man coverage with. So I do like Tight End Apprentice personally. Next we have Slattomatic, and I think this is good. The only reason this is 2 AP, by the way. And then Tight End Apprentice is 2 AP on all tight ends. But for Slattomatic, I would only use this on a slot receiver if you have a route runner wide receiver, because it's 2 AP on route runners as well. If you have a route runner, I would just use route tech, honestly. That's why I'd say it's good. It's only good on one specific archetype of player. Other than that, it really doesn't do a whole lot. Next, we have Short Lane Elite. I think this is meh. I think this is also pretty meh. Like, no one really uses this ability, so I can't really say it's good or not. Next, we have Tank. I'm putting this in great. I think if they're, other than Backfield Master, Tank is one ability I would invest AP for running backs in. Being able to break hit stick tackles is something that a lot of people are really good at. You know, a lot of people want to, hit stick to try and force those fumbles. And if they see Tank on the running back, well, on the power back mainly, well, now they know, okay, I can't hit stick this guy because he's going to break it. So I got to just, tackle him conservatively. And at that point, it becomes a more reliable option for you to hand the ball off in certain situations, because you can just, break the hit stick and not have to worry about, losing the ball on a hit stick tackle. So that's why I do like Tank. Like I said, if there was a AP I could invest in, I would invest in running backs other than Backfield Master. It would be Tank. Next, we're gonna say this is because I did say slot and tight end. We're gonna say that this is a wide receiver apprentice. I think this is also great. It is bordering on must-have. So let me put it up here. No, I actually said this was a wide receiver. So let me. Okay, let's assume this is slot. So slot apprentice, you get all the good routes. And then for wide receiver apprentice, I would say this is bordering on must-have, in my personal opinion. I never realized how even this was. Holy shoot. But this is bordering on must-have for me. I think that personally, getting those extra hot routes everywhere is just great. My personal opinion, the slot, the outside, you can really have more flexibility. You can play your receivers wherever you want if you have that ability. It's 2 AP, which is the same ability points as Hot Route Master for Field Generals. So at that point, it's like, yeah, it's really lost its value. And then finally, running back apprentice. I think this is a waste of AP, personally. Because for me personally, I think this is a waste of AP, because on receiving backs, I'd rather just have the Backfield Master. And for elusive backs, well, then I would just, for me personally, then I would not even just get it. I would just not have the ability whatsoever. Honestly, I would rather just not have any AP on it. Because like I said, the only AP I would invest in for running backs are Tank and Backfield Master. Now, there's also another ability I just remember that's not on here, and that's Balance Beam. I would honestly put that in the waste of AP. Yeah, sure, you can avoid stumbling and being hit stick, stumbling on falling on the ground after a hit, but why would you? Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end to this very long video about my personal thoughts on the best offensive abilities in Madden 22. If you do have any other opinions and you do feel like you could change these around, obviously let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video if you guys did enjoy. Merry Christmas to you all. I'll see you guys back after the weekend. Probably going to be on the 28th. Will be when I make my next video. But until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your holidays. I'm out. Peace.